Hey, what's up guys, it is Card Shuffler 99 here, and today I'm going to be revealing for you guys Shin Lim's performance on America's Got Talent. He performed on the live shows actually today. He did a really cool close-up card trick act, something he's pretty much known for nowadays in the Magic community. So I'm going to be breaking down this trick for you guys today. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel if you're not already subscribed. We did hit 130,000 subscribers, so thank you guys so much for that. It's definitely encouraging us to keep posting and keep doing what we're doing, so we do appreciate all of that. So we are going to be starting the new giveaway. So what we're going to be giving away for this month, we're going to be giving away 10 decks of cards of your choice, okay? So you guys basically can pick whatever deck you want. Shin Lim does have decks out on the market. If you guys want to pick his deck, you can pick his deck if you want to. So we'll give away 10 decks, 10 winners for that, as well as 5 $10 Amazon gift cards. So we're giving away $50 on Amazon. That's the giveaway. All you have to do to enter is like the video, subscribe to the channel, make sure you guys comment something in the comment section, and make sure you guys turn on post notifications. That's all you have to do to enter into the giveaway. Anyway, guys, let's get straight into this video. Now, this isn't going to be a traditional reveal. If you know anything about Shin Lim, he's going to do many stages in his act. He's going to have a lot of different tricks going on. And my job here today is just going to be to give you guys a sense of how he's doing what he's doing. Now, a lot of the stuff that he does in the trick is revolving around the same principles and the same ideas. So I'm not going to basically repeat myself over and over again, because he's doing the same thing basically the entire time. So what I'm instead going to do is just show you the overall principles. I'm going to talk about what he's doing, and then we're going to get on with our day. So first thing we're going to do is talk about how he makes the cards appear. Now, there's a couple things you need to notice, and the first thing you're going to notice is that he's using a black mat. He's wearing dark clothing, and you can see the entire background where the camera is dark. The floor is black, the background is dark. This is basically a general Magic setup. Now, why? In Magic, there's something known as the black art principle. Now, what this is, it's essentially saying that if you have a black surface, a dark surface, if you were to put, say, for example, if I had a black card mat, if this mat was black, for example, right? And I had a black rag or a black cloth, right? A black cloth. You put that straight onto the mat and it's going to blend in, especially on camera. You're not going to be able to tell. Now, you'll notice back when he did his Judge Cuts performance, you'll notice what he did was he actually did the same exact thing to make the cards disappear. He had his hands on the mat, and all you could see him do is just flip over the cards or flip over his hands. He's not ditching the cards, he's just flipping it over. And basically all it does is the cards, because the back of the cards were actually black in color, looked as if they disappeared. It was a really cool act. On camera, you can't even see it, right? Because the cards have that same color as the mat, so they just blend in when you look at it from a camera perspective. That's going to be incorporated a lot of times in this trick. You notice everything is picked out specifically, the camera angle, everything. And a reason that he's going to have the background dark as well is that he's going to actually use that time to ditch cards. He's going to drag cards basically off the mat, and they will just fall on the floor, but nobody's going to be able to see it, okay? And nobody's going to be able to tell because of the angle. You can see they actually use an angle quite similar to the angle I'm using right here. So if I was to ditch something right here, you wouldn't be able to see anything going down. You wouldn't see anything falling off the table behind me. Nothing of that would be visible, especially because everything in the background is dark, so all the cards would just blend in as they fall down. But even then, you wouldn't be able to see it because it's sort of, the angle is kind of like right in front of him, just slightly above, right? So that's important to note. And the other thing you want to note is that there is no spectator on the stage with him. Now, that's the largest reason why Shin Lim in his Judge Cuts performance, he didn't ditch cards off the table, because obviously he had a spectator right next to him. So if he was to ditch cards off the table, it'd be too visible. Instead, he used the black art principle, made sure that nobody could see it because it just blends in, and that'll be that. So that's the black art principle. He's going to use that to make the cards appear. Now, how is this done? Generally, there's just going to be something covering the cards that were spread out and something that was covering the aces. All he has to do is, as he drags his hand over, he's just taking over the covering, whether it was, some sort of cloth, some sort of rag, whatever it was. It could be anything, to be quite honest, and there's so many different possibilities as to what he's doing here. But something is just covering. There's something special with the mat, obviously, because it's black art principle, but something's covering the cards, right? All he has to do is basically take the covering off the cards, and because it's the black art principle, it looks so cool because it looks like the deck is just appearing out of nowhere, right? But it's not. You can't even see him pulling anything off. You can't see him dragging anything off, right? Because it's black, right? It just blends in with the background. So that's important to know. Black art principle right there. He does the same thing with the aces. Now, at first, what we were thinking was when he was holding the jokers that he was just spreading out a deck of cards that were underneath the jokers. The reason we eliminated this idea was, one, because he kind of showed the back of the jokers in a way, and then he also did the part with the aces where he just waves his hand over, right? What he's doing here is he's just taking something off. Now, there's so many different options here. He could be using magnets for all we know, where he just takes a magnet, whether there's a magnet in his hand, whatever it is, to take that off. He could just be dragging something off, and basically, like I said, all the coverings are just coming off the table. They're just coming off towards him. Nobody can see it falling off because the camera angle is too good, set up perfectly, and obviously all the spectators are sitting in front of him, so that nobody's going to be able to see that. Now, the rest of the trick is obviously really cool because he's making cards change. He's making cards appear. He's doing a lot of cool things. The majority of his trick is going to revolve around a setup deck that looks a lot like this, okay, where he has cards. Half the deck is one way, half the deck is the other way. Now, the way you make this, now he's going to make the deck, obviously it's going to appear blue, right? When the deck appears, it appears spread out like so, okay? Now, you'll notice you need a perfect spread here, but what he's doing is, let's say I were to spread the deck, now obviously you don't want to flash, but let's say I spread the deck out like so, right? You can see it only looks blue, okay? Now, if I had a red covering and I wanted to spread the deck the opposite direction, same deal, except the cards appear red. Now, these cards are a little old, and obviously I just kind of cut the cards up and I just taped it on top, so it's a little bit different. He has the actual gimmick, and you can actually buy the cards where they have the actual setup where it's split down the middle. And he's going to have the same principle on the back, where half the cards are going to have pips, okay, and the other half of the cards are going to have writing on it. Now, this is the same thing. He's going to have the same exact sort of setup with the 4 aces as well, okay? Now, all he has to do, you'll notice I have a blue card here and a red card. Now, I'm only going to explain and just demonstrate with these because I don't have blank cards. So generally, he would have a blank card here, and he's going to have writing on the sides of the card. So if you spread it one way, you're only going to see the writing. You won't even see the other side of the cards because you're obviously spreading it one way, right? So, once again, just keep in mind, imagine that this sort of setup where you have half and half is still on this side. Now, I don't have half and half on the faces, but just imagine that half of this had the numbers, and imagine this other half was blanked out. It's just a blank card, and it has writing on it, so that when you spread it out, the writing will actually spell out like actual words, right? Like America's Got Talent or the flag. Now, this is the general setup that he's going to use, okay, for his trick. Now, all he has to do, you'll notice before he does any change, before he changes the deck from, say, the American flag to, say, I don't know, America's Got Talent, all he does is some sort of flourish where he gets the opposite card on top. So let's say he wanted to get the cards to turn blue, okay? Now, this is not, he didn't do this in his performance, but let's say this is what he did. Let's say he wanted to turn the deck blue. What he could do is he could palm a blue card, or he does a flourish. He does so many flourishes where he just takes a card, makes it appear on top. Then all he has to do is, like I said, he's just going to spread the deck this one way. Now let's say he wanted to change it to the point where it goes red. Now, once again, all he has to do once he's done with this top card, he just has to ditch it, right? He has to ditch it and make another card appear. Let's say he wanted to go red straight after he did blue. Same thing. Make the red card come on top. He could do whatever flourish he wants. He could palm a card on. He could do some sort of fancy flourish where he takes the card off the bottom, brings it to the top. Whatever he wants to do, he's going to do a flourish, and then all you have to do is obviously just spread it in the opposite direction, and now the deck appears red, right? So what you'll notice is he's going to use the American flag. He's going to use letters. He's going to use actual legit pips. And then he's going to have so many different parts of his act, right? So that's just something that you're going to have to just think about, right? As you're watching this performance, is just think about what he's doing when he's actually, you know, doing this, right? You'll notice, and if you watch very carefully, he'll spread the deck one way, and then when he wants to make the deck different, let's say he wanted to go, he just showed it blue, puts on the red, and he'll notice he's going to spread it the opposite direction, or he'll just flip it over. The big giveaway was when he did the fan. He fanned out the cards, and he literally showed the other side had the flag. Like one side had the flag, the other side had writing on it. That kind of gave it away that it was a double-sided sort of deck. And you'll notice that that's generally what's going to happen. He's going to have 4 different solutions for this deck where he can spread it one way, he can spread it the other way, then he could flip it over, spread it one way, spread it the other way, and that'll be that. Now, in terms of disappearing cards, like I said, part of it is going to be the black art principle. Major part is the black art principle where he can just literally flip over some cards. Other than that, he's just going to ditch cards behind the table. It's something he does a lot in his stage acts. He literally just drags cards straight off the table, or he'll have it palmed in, and he's just going to ditch it off the table. No longer in play. That or the cards are going to still be on the table. But that is really it for this reveal, guys. Once again, 2 major things you have to understand for Zach: black art principle and this double sort of sided deck where he's going to have one way you could spread one way, the other way you could spread the other way. Same thing on the other side. You can spread one way, you can spread the other way, and you're going to see something different. All you need is a matching card on top of the deck to match the actual spread before he goes about spreading it. But anyway, guys, that is it. I hope you enjoyed the video. And anyway, this is Card Shuffler 99. Peace out, guys.